Hi there, my name's Barry Gardner and welcome to this short video about mastering synth music. So as a sound engineer, I have 20 years of professional audio engineering experience, 10 of which was obtained by being the head engineer of an audio production company based in London. And for the last decade, I've been operating a dedicated online mastering service, Safe and Sound Mastering. So when it comes to synthesizer music, it can be very wide-ranging. There's quite a large scope. It covers a lot of different styles of music. It can be experimental, futuristic, otherworldly, psychedelic, cinematic. It could have classical style arrangements. It could be like a film score, for example, synth pop, synth wave, or it could even be a retro style of synth music. One feature that always appears in synth music is textures. That's what synthetic sound is all about. Synth enthusiasts know how synthetic sonic textures can enhance melody, the progression of the music, and the arrangements themselves. Here you have a self-confessed synthesizer enthusiast. My profession is mastering, but in my spare time I love nothing more than to set up synthesizers from their initial patch settings and create my own synth sounds. It's a wonderful headspace to be in, very enjoyable, especially for someone who's so interested in sound. So you're in good hands when it comes to getting your synth music mastered. At Safe and Sound Mastering, I wanted the service to be affordable. It's without compromise. As you can see, I use a high-end analog rack here and the precision of digital tools as well. When mastering synth music, I'll be listening out for resonances and extremes. And that means resonant peaks, or it could be frequency extremes. So at 20 kilohertz and at 20 hertz, we're all aware that synthesizers can throw out a lot of energy down at infrasound and also reaching into the ultrasonic essentially. So these frequency extremes have to be looked at and taken care of, so there's no surprises when it's played on a very large system, for example. In this room, as you can hear, it's very well treated. There's 28 bass traps. There's a wide range of absorption and diffusion in the room. And I use the PMC IB1S monitors. They're a 3-way professional mastering grade monitor, and they're powered by Hypex amplifiers. When it comes to mastering synth music, I'll also be listening to your stereo image. That's very important. Obviously, when it comes to synthetic arrangements and structure of sound, the stereo image can be very wide if you so wish it to be, whether it's through panning or artificial width enhancement or unison on pads and various other tools like dimension expanders, which are quite common on software synthesizers these days. And a quick word about software and hardware and analog enthusiasts. Ultimately, personally, I use soft synths because I like the control in the box, but I can totally understand why people like the sound of analog, that solidity with analog that soft synths can approach there. Some of the UHE synths are really quite incredible, as I'm sure you'll agree, but when it comes to analog, it's still a thing and people love the analog sound, and I totally understand why you want to use your hardware and analog synths. So whatever floats your boat, synths to me, it's all about the modulations and the routings and the enjoyment of the sound that's created. And at the end of the day, if you're loving the sounds that you're creating, then that's what counts. So however you get there is largely irrelevant. It's about what you produce in the end and whether you love it. And that's the main thing. And the enjoyment, of course, of actually using the synthesizers. So getting back to the stereo image, I wandered off a little bit there. We like a wide, lush sound, nothing wrong with that, but we don't want poor mono compatibility. So we don't want a hole in the mid channel, for example. We want solidity in the mid channel, but we can also have a nice wide soundscape that collapses to mono very well. So it's important when mastering synth music that these factors are taken into account. So with tonal adjustments, dynamic adjustments and stereo width adjustments, all these small incremental adjustments at just the right places all add up to be a whole that's greater than the sum of parts. And that's what mastering's about, along with the quality control, listening out for clicks and glitches, etc. I'll be listening out for the overall clarity and detail in your music, taking care of any muddy regions in the lower mid-range, just getting everything balanced so it will translate just right when it gets played on any type of sound system, large or small. A few words about quality control. Obviously, synthesizers are capable of creating clicks from their envelopes, so I'll be listening out carefully for these. Sometimes in context they can work rhythmically, so they don't need to be removed, and occasionally you'll get the odd envelope click that just doesn't quite work with your music, so that can be discussed if I do hear anything along those lines. That's not a problem. When it comes to albums and EPs, I'll be bringing your tracks together sonically, tonally, dynamically and perceived volume-wise to ensure that all the music works together for the desired product that you're releasing. So if you would like to work with me, Barry Gardner, on your next synth music release, then please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. You can do so via email or by telephone. Thanks for watching this short video on mastering synth music.